Good.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. This is Daniel with Screen Stinger. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you guys are new here, please do click that subscribe button somewhere down below over there for more content from Screen Stinger right here. So today, guys, we are going to be talking about The Matrix Resurrections upcoming movie once again. So the last video that we did, we kind of broke down, it was like a teaser, a trailer that they released a few days ago, about 3 days ago. And me and Jeff, we kind of broke it down, mainly Jeff actually, and we kind of went through most of the possibilities of what we thought that the movie is going to be about based on some of the information that we heard on the internet, based on the previous movies. So we had a lot of interesting, ideas in that video. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, please do go ahead and watch the last video for that breakdown. Now today we're going to be talking about the full trailer that they released for this. They released this yesterday, so they added a little bit more information. They kind of showed a few more faces, so there's a little bit more meat on the bone. So we're going to be dissecting this today. So joining me today for this is Jeff Porter. Hello, Jeff.
What's going on?
All right.
You ready to watch
So
this?
yeah, so I guess we're going to start off by watching the trailer, and then we're going to do a little bit of analysis and kind of try to match what we're seeing based on the theories that we had in our prior video and see if we were on the right track.
Alright, here we go.
Thomas? You seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
Am I crazy? We don't use that word in here.
Hi.
Have we met?
One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small. And the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall.
Time to fly.
If you want the truth, Neo, you're going to have to follow me.
The only thing that matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up. You don't know me, no?
After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
That
Oh.
last line really fucks me up.
I don't know.
To go back
so,
to the Matrix. What?
well, first off, I think when we watched the prior teaser, at first we felt a little bit, iffy about the whole thing. And then as we started breaking it down, we're kind of like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be pretty cool. And I think that this full trailer actually really pumps me up. I
Yeah.
feel really excited to go watch this now. I don't know if you agree with that, but I think this was a pretty awesome trailer.
Yeah.
First off.
No, and like you said, we get to see faces this time around. We get a little bit more, um, yeah, like kind of what's going on to an extent. We see him talking to Neil Patrick Harris. We see him.
So that's how the
more.
trailer starts off, right? Neil
Yeah.
Patrick Harris is a psychiatrist or psychologist, just like we kind of talked about in the previous video.
The only thing that's really changed, in my opinion, is now, and especially because I had The Matrix on last night, the original film. It's on HBO. Um, I was kind of in and out, but it was on, and there was a couple of things that I caught, in particular with Morpheus and Neo, and this idea that Neo, there's things that he can't explain. Something seems off. He doesn't know what it is. He can't sleep. He has trouble knowing that there's something wrong with this world. Kind of getting the same thing here again. Something that I forgot that Morpheus says right after he unplugs Neo is there was a man born inside the Matrix who could bend it to his will, and he was the first person to start freeing the humans. And he died, but now they've been looking for him again. And Neo is like the reincarnation of this guy. And now I'm kind of feeling like, because we went back and forth about like possible timelines and different realities and stuff.
That's right.
I'm starting to feel like this is a prequel. And that's why we don't see Lawrence Fishburne. That's why we're getting a young Morpheus. And Keanu in this film is actually that original guy who was born inside the Matrix, who could bend it to his will. And then we're going to see that story. But at the same time, there's so many things in this trailer that throws it off. Because if he's the original,
Like
why
what?
would he still have the memories and stuff of what happened in the original trilogy? If he's the original, why at the end, the line that really gets me is, now you get to go back to where it started, back into the Matrix. What do you mean back into the Matrix? I just feel like there's too many different. Is it a prequel and then we're going forward? Are we in the future and we're going back?
Okay, so this particular instance perhaps could be the end of the movie, and this could be perhaps how the movie ends, and perhaps moves forward to maybe there's going to be another movie. So this could be after the whole movie takes place. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And then at the end they're like, okay, now we have to go back. So your theory could still be right. It just depends on the timeline of this particular scene right here.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I just don't understand. Then you have the scene with him and Trinity touching hands, and she's like, "Have we met before?" And it's like,
Right, right. So you know,
What?
yeah, I agree. There's some things that kind of throw off that theory.
and then we see.
Also, like, how far before the original Matrix would this have to be? Because you know, like Trinity's still there, and like the timeline
At
is going
least-
to come into question here.
Yeah. Yeah, which is goofy in the first movie anyways, because Morpheus kind of recruits everybody after searching for the reincarnation, but it doesn't really say how long they've been searching. And has Neo, like when Neo was born, was he automatically the reincarnation? He just knew it from forever? Or was it like he's over the last couple of years he figured it out? So the timeline there is kind of, you're not really sure how long they've been looking or anything. Because Morpheus says he's been searching his whole life. It's like, well, that's not possible.
Interesting.
But then this scene too, we see Morpheus. He's handing Neo the red pill.
Right.
So I'm so confused. I thought I had a good feeling for it, and then this, like now that we're seeing who's handing stuff to who, and
So our previous theory, or we had two, I believe, was that it was either the movie was taking place in an alternate dimension or reality.
yeah,
And I think the other one was that this was some kind of resurrection of Neo,
right,
right? Not
like in the future.
not in the prequel sense,
right,
right? Not that Neo is the resurrection of the OG Neo or whoever that person is. I don't know if we have a name for him,
I don't
but
think so.
that this Neo right here is a reincarnation of the Neo that we saw
In
in
the
the
original.
original Matrix movie. So now we're kind of leaning towards perhaps as being a prequel and the start of the whole thing. Now, do you remember if we have more information about this OG Neo character that freed up all of the humans or anything, or is that just the
I
information that
think,
you gave us?
yeah, I think that's probably like the only mention. And there might be something with the Oracle. The Oracle might have said something, but really Morpheus just that little tidbit about how he was the first. That's about it, I think. Yeah, in the first one at least. I don't remember Reloaded or Revolutions if they talk about it. I think they probably go into it deeper in Revolutions, and that's why Neo sacrifices himself, but it's been too long since I've seen it.
Yeah, same here. At least 10 years, maybe longer,
Yeah.
14, 15.
Yeah.
But those movies were, so I don't. My memory isn't so good, but I'm really pumped for this one though. Like I gotta say, it's actually a good thing that it's kind of putting off our theories because it's not making it easy to guess, which is a good thing because if we're able to guess the whole movie right away, then it's going to be a pretty crap movie. So now it's actually incentivizing me to go back and rewatch some of the other things and see if I can kind of piece this puzzle together. But this is all pretty interesting, I gotta say. And there's a lot of action. There's a lot of like mystery, like what's going on. I think this is going to be a great movie. Honestly, I think it's going to excel.
Just the fact, like, that we can have this discussion and not have any fucking idea what's happening. When was the last time you went into a movie not knowing?
Like Hollywood movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's been at least 10 years.
Every Marvel movie, you know about it 10 years beforehand. Every other film, they give everything away in the trailer. You know who's gonna die, who's not.
Yeah,
I
yeah, and
genuinely
like
have no idea what's going on in this.
and like I think people like we become kind of used to this, right? Like we kind of don't think about the story. We're just there to experience it, and we're just watching kind of like a linear story unfold, and we don't have to think about it. So it's like, our brains are kind of shut off. But then you see this, and then it kind of like throws everything out of order, and you're like, holy shit here. Like, I kind of have to try to kind of figure this out. Just like the original Matrix movie, like that was the whole buzz for the movie. It was like a complete mind fuck, and people were like, "Oh my god, this is real!" Like I remember when I was in high school, and people were like, "Oh my god, do we live in an actual reality or not?" Like people were actually
Yeah.
talking about this like it was a real thing. Like how do you know that anything is real, right? And so, yeah, I feel like it's kind of bringing a little bit of that back, and for that I'm super pumped.
And that's the thing too. Like with the original Matrix, like everybody remembers, the shootout at the end. Everybody remembers guns, lots of guns. But watching it again, it's over a 2-hour film. There's probably 30 minutes of action. The rest of it is like my kids fell asleep because one of them was throwing a fit. We're sitting there. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and watch my movie while she goes to sleep. She passed out because she got tired of everybody talking. I'm like, this is perfect. But people forget, and like when you go into Reloaded and Revolutions, they try to kind of capitalize on that again, but then they get a little too convoluted. They forget about what made the original so popular, and by the end with Revolutions, the battle on Zion, like when they're shooting squiddies out of the sky and stuff, like it's cool, but I feel like they leaned too heavily into that and got away from the the mindfulness of it, and I think that's what this is trying to get back into, is that question. Because watching it again, I mean, it's a 22-year-old movie,
That's right.
still
I can't believe it's that
fantastic.
old. It's crazy.
It's incredible. It's still incredible, and it's still relevant today. There's so many scenes in there where I'm just like, if this came out today, it would be 100% accurate.
Yeah,
And it's just
it was. Yeah, it was a cinematic kind of like masterpiece at the time
absolutely.
when it came out. Like everyone was blown away, by the Matrix. If you weren't blown away by the Matrix, like
And
people just looked at you like you were weird or
right.
something. Like how can you not marvel at this movie? It was like the story was just like just the mind fuck aspect of it was awesome, and then it also had the cinematic aspect, which was like it was.
It
I
was an
think
event.
it was like groundbreaking at the time, and it's still like yeah, it still kind of looks good today even. So kind of
Yeah.
like the first Max Payne game when it introduced that slow time shooting and stuff, you know,
Yeah.
and then every other game kind of copied it. So um, yeah, and I think you're right. The sequels to the original Matrix kind of just they felt like a jumbled mess. They try to put a lot of action and stuff like basically your typical Hollywood kind of like action flick, and then it stopped being special like the
Yeah.
original Matrix, and it just became another very average, you know, movie with subpar plot and just very confusing and a lot of random action, and then that's kind of how the Matrix franchise kind of died. So I'm hoping that they can bring it back with this, because it has potential not just for this movie, but perhaps for other movies, perhaps even a series. Like Matrix is just it's an awesome story, and it just provides so many opportunities to kind of expand that story. Just because like this reality, alternate reality kind of aspect is just the opportunities are endless with this. So if they
Yeah.
execute this right, this could be a huge, huge deal. And I think even just for movies in general, because as you said, all these Marvel movies, we know what's going on. It's we just go and watch them like mindless drones,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But this could be bringing back that kind of Hollywood movie where you kind of have to sit down and think about what's going on. You know what I mean?
And go into it without knowing. Like you kind of have to take a chance with it. When you see, I know we're ragging on Marvel, but when you see the trailers, you know what's gonna happen. You can kind of decide, like, yeah, I'll probably like that, or I won't. With this, you have no idea. You gotta take a chance with it, and I feel like that's what movies should be. Again, you shouldn't know everything before you walk in. And yeah, like you were saying though, like if, not only could it like kind of relaunch like a Matrix show or movie or whatever. This is a Matrix film coming out where an entire generation of people probably have never seen the original films, which is insane
True.
to me.
Good point. That's a good point.
And so I feel like that kind of might help play into the reintroduction of it as well. It's like there's a whole generation of people who probably weren't even definitely weren't even born when this came out.
Just think about it. The movie itself is 22 years old. At 22, you graduate from college.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, it's highly possible that you've never seen the original Matrix. That's kind of crazy to me
That's
that people might
insane.
not have seen it, but it's yeah, obviously there's a huge generation of people that probably never actually watched the Matrix, probably wouldn't get what it's about or why it has all this hype and all this stuff. So
It's
that's a very good point.
it's almost like comparing when the original Matrix came out, there was a whole generation of people who had never seen The Godfather. Like we're getting like so far away from these films, and now this is a little bit of a side tangent real fast because I don't want to drone on, but it's like every like there's no films in the last 15, 10 years that are like groundbreaking. Like there's cool movies, don't get me wrong, there's cool movies, but there's no
Well,
1999 like
well, just think about it. The original Matrix, even today, 22 years later, is still a groundbreaking movie. Now, some people might not have watched it. They should,
oh
but
for
some people
sure.
might not have watched it. But in the last 10 years or so, I wouldn't say that there's been a lot of classic movies that are going to stand the test of time, because I
Exactly.
think to have that kind of movie, you need that really engaging story. You need something that's unique in terms of story that keeps people kind of thinking. And because like all the special effects, they're going to look at a place in 5, 10 years when you have better special effects. But when you have that story, that arch that just kind of gets people in, that's going to last forever, in a sense. It might look out
Yeah.
of place at some point, but you could always respect it by looking back in time and saying, yeah, they were the first that did that. They came up with that idea. Now, so So basically, just to end, because we're kind of gonna drone on and on about this. So for people that are still watching the video, if you want a more in-depth breakthrough, just go and watch the last video we did on this. We have a few possible theories. Some of those might still be valid. It's not exactly very clear right here. So I think that right now, based on what based on what Jeff is saying, I think that you're kind of leaning on this being a prequel
I
to
think,
the whole thing, but with
yeah,
some reservations.
yeah. I think after seeing the full trailer, I think that's probably where it's headed. And like you said, there might be like some shots of these might be at the end of the movie to kind of throw us off. Um, but yeah, that's where I'm leaning now. And we can see in this shot where like it's a little bit different, like because in the original they have so many more holes and hoses and stuff. But I feel like this is probably the original, the one before we even meet Neo in the original. And we see the Sentinels and the farms of human babies again. All of this is
Jesus.
very the destroyed civilization. All of this is very reminiscent of the original. Like I just
right.
watched the damn thing, the Follow the White Rabbit. I just watched the damn thing. This just feels like almost like another one, almost like a reimagining almost, but with the same people. It's weird. It's odd. I like it. That's my face right there. That's how I feel.
So just to add one final thought, could this be, as you said, as you were talking, it kind of just dawned on me. You know how like on Batman and some other franchises, they reimagine it, and so all of a sudden, they take what is canon, and they put it aside, and then they rebuild the story. Do you think that maybe, just maybe, Matrix could basically be redoing the original Matrix movie, but reimagined with slightly different angles? You know what I mean? Kind of like when Batman was,
I could see that.
Batman Begins and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Do you think that's possible?
I think that's possible. Especially like because that fits in with the new generation of viewers and stuff, and relaunching it and stuff. I could see like a reimagining of the original, by adding on resurrection. You know, we can play with that a little loosely, and maybe it's
Yeah,
a
because it could mean
resurrection of
either the
original.
resurrection of Neo or the resurrection of the franchise.
Right, little
like
wordplay, yeah.
we don't know just yet, but I mean, like I said, it's not like it's something that's not done in movies. It's done, I think, with increasing frequency, that we take franchises and just kind of be like, okay, that story, we're just going to put it to the side. We're going to reintroduce some elements and rebuild it, kind of thing. So I don't know if that's it. It could be a possibility, or it could be a prequel. I think those are probably the two most likely theories at this point, unless this kind of delves into some kind of like parallel universe kind of thing. I don't know,
Well,
but that I feel like could be a little convoluted.
Yeah, after seeing where the doors go, I'm a little less on the alternate reality. I almost thought that those were like they're using
So where
them to
do they
get
go?
around. They use them to get around to different, like they go through they land in a different hallway, so they're just using
Okay.
them as like back doors essentially. And then
Right.
one other thing that kind of leads to a prequel. I believe that this is the Oracle from the um, original. Well, she's in all of them, I think, but Morpheus also says that she's when we first meet her, she's very old. She's been with us since the beginning. If this is the Oracle, she's very young since the beginning. Prequel. I don't know. This could not be the Oracle, but I don't know. I get Oracle vibes.
I do too. Yeah, I do too. And that's Priyanka Chopra, by the way. So I think it was announced yesterday in the trailer that she was. I don't think we knew that she was going to be in the movie before, if I'm not mistaken. So there was a little bit of buzz about that on the internet. But I do tend to kind of get those. Like, she wouldn't just be this random person in a coffee shop, right? And I think this is. Remember, we were talking about that coffee shop yesterday.
Simulate.
Simulate, and I think that's where he's going, right?
Oh,
That's
maybe.
the Simulate place.
Simulate or a Chinese food place. You got chopsticks.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's a different kind of Chinese restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah, this doorway, that's what I was kind of thinking, but then we see the agent. He like flies through the door and lands in another hallway like we see in Reloaded. So, yeah,
That's right.
I'm leaning away from the alternate realities thing. I think that that's probably not likely. The prequel or like a reimagining, I think. Just I watched the fucking original last night. There's so many shots just in this trailer that are so reminiscent of the original that
Right.
it's almost like a shot for shot. Like a lot of things pop back up. So
I think you're right though. I think they're doing it for because the original, as we said, has a lot of value still, cinema in cinematography, and symbolism and all that stuff. So I think they're doing that for the younger generation, or it's possible that it's perhaps for a reimagining of things where they're going to use some stuff from the original and then, but or it could just it's the Matrix, so of course there's going to be some stuff that is similar. So it could be lots of reasons, but I think we kind of touched on everything we know. Now, I'm super pumped. I think you are too for this movie. So if there's any other trailers and any other information, I think that we're gonna do some update videos on it. What do you think?
yeah, I'd be down for that, especially as we learn more. There's this door, the door scene where the agent goes through. You can see he
Yep,
just goes from one place, boop, now he's in a hallway.
that's right.
So kind of defeats the original theory. There he is.
Yep.
There he is
Yeah,
doing his
and I think
Superman
that
thing.
the door theory was a big reason for our parallel universe
Yeah.
theory because we didn't in the previous trailer we didn't know what was behind the door. They kind of left the door as this big mystery, but now it seems like it's a little less mysterious.
Yep.
Although it could still play a part, it could perhaps not be exactly as they show it in the trailer. But
Yeah, that's true.
I think that I think that you're on the right path with that one. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think this is gonna do it. Anything else you want to add?
No,
Okay,
I don't
this
want to
is
get
gonna do it,
stuck.
guys. This is gonna do it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do subscribe to the channel down below right there. Give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it for more content. And this is gonna do it, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.